Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. It's race number 2 of the Shamoch Collectables 125 at Rockingham. It is time for us and all the drivers as well to see one of the toughest races of the whole entire season, as drivers are going to try to attack the rock. As my name is Sam Tyre, with me is Zach Hall. Zach, the drivers are dealing with a handful here tonight. We were talking before the broadcast went live. This is going to be probably the toughest task for these first 5 races of this season.
Oh, no doubt. You know, this track right here is such an old surface and such a tough technical track at the same time. So it really challenges these drivers tonight, getting over the bumps and making sure they hit their marks, because this track, it just seems not to have grip in all the areas. You got to get right in that line that you want to hit if you want to be able to make that right time around here. And also, tire wear is going to be critical. This place eats them up.
And drivers, tire-wise, only going to have 4 sets. 1 they start out with, and 3 in pit road, as well as there is going to be a stage break at the end of lap 55. With all the trucks getting set and ready to go. We got 3 minutes left in practice until qualifying, but drivers certainly are excited for this one. Again, this is the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. Big thanks to Race Car Graveyard. If you want to find yourself with some great decals as well as just great collectibles, you can find that at Race Car Graveyard. Find them on all their socials. We'll talk about Race Car Graveyard more later on, as well as a big thanks to that of Track Racer, Refined Gaming. If you need to get yourself in any type of racing rig finished, or if you're just starting, make sure that you go to Track Racer, Refined Gaming. They're certainly going to get you set up, as man, it is certainly going to be a long race for these drivers. It's going to be all about the bumps through the corners. But Zach, you said you got to test this track out earlier with these drivers. What is it about this track that is so difficult?
Oh, I mean, there's countless things here. First of all, it's really 1 and 2 there first to start off that corner. You got to get to the bottom. It's all about getting down as low as possible in the corner there to be able to get the grip and get off of 2, because 2 narrows out so quick. You get so loose and tight at the same time that the truck wants to step the back end out while also sliding the front end out towards the wall. It's such a tough time. I think that will be actually the spot that we see most of our incidents tonight, is coming out of that turn 2, just because it tightens up so much there late on the exit. Now down in the 3 and 4, that corner a completely different beast. Very wide and very bumpy. It's got a lot of bumps right there down the bottom, so I think we'll see some guys electing not to run that bottom groove, but a little bit higher up the racetrack. That is possibly a little bit slower, but it'll be a little bit more manageable as a driver trying to make it around those bumps, because I can tell you one thing, you land in the corner, it gets so tight. You hit the bumps, it starts to get loose, and then as the car lands again over the top of the bumps, right late on exit, it gets tight again. So this is what I like to call a bipolar track with a bipolar setup. So those 2 mixes are going to be very wild, and that thing, with those 2 things, I think the racing could be amazing with these drivers trying to find the fastest way around this old surface.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the drivers that were coming in. I mean, we got some newcomers that missed Daytona going to be racing here tonight, and as well, a lot of drivers carrying over from last week. But a lot of the drivers have been very aggressive here during practice, trying to get as much as they can out of the trucks and each and every lap. But honestly, I think it's going to be the drivers that are being patient, waiting, that are letting everyone else be aggressive and wreck their trucks, that might be the one that wins tonight's race.
Patience could be the key. This place here, at any moment's notice, you could be out front just running your race. If you're too aggressive at this track, the rock could come up and bite you real quick. I like to compare this track almost to such as Darlington. It is as challenging, if not harder, to get around this track than it is at Darlington, and it has the similar tendencies with the tire wear also. So if you go out there and get too aggressive on that early run, you could drive off into the sunset for that first 10-15 laps. But I'm gonna tell you what, those drivers behind you who are saving their stuff and being very patient and methodical will run you down as that run goes on.
Run certainly is going to be something to watch out for, tire wear, but for these drivers, it's now on track position. Practice has come to a close, and now it's time for qualifying, as we are going to be finding all the drivers, trying to figure out who wants to be up front, who wants to stay in the back, because honestly, I think a lot of the drivers, their mindset coming in was qualify up front, so you don't have to be in the hornet's nest of the middle of the field, where I think it's going to probably be the danger zone for most of this race.
Oh, you are Sam. You couldn't have said it any better. I think a lot of guys were focusing on qualifying pace there in that practice, from what I've seen, trying to get the fastest time they possibly could down and be consistent with it. It's one thing to run a fast lap here, but you got to be consistent with it to be able to do it in this qualifying session here. As they got 2 laps, 5 minutes to get their best time down. If you do not qualify up front, like you said, you're going to be in that hornet's nest where the mayhem is happening. Got to watch out for all that action here tonight, because only one faster pair, and if you get stuck back there again, you may get caught up in another incident.
As you can see on top of your screen, what the track as well as weather is looking like for these drivers. Wind speed only 6 miles per hour, so not going to be affecting these drivers too much. 87 degrees is the ambient temperature, but on that right side, top of your graphic, 106 degrees, 108 Fahrenheit. These drivers, they're on extremely warm track. It's going to be slick, but at the same time tight. As you saw the 31 coming to a stop before he even started his lap. Didn't feel comfortable there with Tom Boyd.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to reset there to try to get a better attempt at it, and that's something you'll see a few guys possibly do here, as at the moment, looks like the fastest time turned is by Aaron Kralik in the 01 machine. A good time for him there, a 24:35. A good pickup from practice for Aaron, too. It's good to see him up there on the top of the board at the moment.
As we're seeing some of the other drivers getting set up and prepared. There's the one of Brandon Colley. And Colley, I think one of our favorites coming into tonight's race. He was second fastest during practice and certainly has a feel for this thing, as this track currently second on the board, gets pushed down though as some other fast heavy hitters top of the board. That's going to be that of the 11 going to be top of the board with a 24.31. That's pretty speedy compared to what some of the drivers were putting down for practice.
Yeah, it's impressive too, because look at the pickup there from practice too, about 0.2 of a second there that Forbes picked up. So he wasn't showing his full hand there in the practice session, able to put down a very good lap here as we watch the 3 machine come around here. Thomas Green looking to put down his lap time here to start his qualifying time. You see he's up a little bit up the track. It's a little interesting. Maybe that is where these drivers are finding a little bit more grip here tonight, and so he'll be coming down here to 3 and 4 to look to complete this lap and get that time in. But definitely drivers, I think, out there not happy with some of the times they put down, especially some of the guys who were heavy hitters there in practice, not putting down the greatest times there on their qualifying laps.
But we're still waiting on this man, the 99. That's going to be Trevor Earhart. That has been the fastest during practice all week. He was the fastest during today's practice session, and we'll see now. Will his first lap for the 99 team top the board? As for that of Trevor Earhart, he's screaming quick, and he's topping the board already on just his first lap, and it looks like that just might be it as we're moving over to the 23 of Tanner Johnson.
Yeah, Trevor says that's good enough. Right there, that 24:25. What a lap from him there. Almost looking to be a 10th faster in the field right now. He's been on it. Like you said, they led practice session earlier today also, and led the practice session here tonight. I think Earhart, he seems like Rockingham might be his stomping ground possibly here, trying to get that first victory here in this series.
As we're riding on board with the 23, Tanner Johnson, one of the drivers that really looked, actually changed that. We're actually on Jesse Thordick, who's been one of the drivers that came into this series. I'm interested to see how well the 20 is going to do. We saw in the Cup Series Jesse Thordick making the playoffs last season, and in the Cup Series, but here for the trucks, I think this is going to be a great time to just get more track experience, but into the wall, that's going to be invalidating his time.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're going to hit the wall there, so that time will not be counted like you said there, Sam. So it's looking like right now, 32nd on the board for Thornick. But always track time will always help drivers, and it's good to see these drivers out here that run on Saturday nights at the NAISCC Cup Series, now out here at the Truck Series. So a lot of transfer there, but a lot of also new names. And the thing I was thinking about coming in tonight, we just came from Daytona. A lot of guys got caught up in stuff there. A lot of guys are looking for bounce back nights here. So it could be the night that changes the whole point standings around. And we also got to be looking for Danny Cochran, our winner from last week. Could he go back to back? As I believe we have a poll right now on YouTube asking about that. So make sure you put yes or no if you think Danny Cochran is going to go back to back here tonight, Rockingham.
Hey, I mean, Danny Cochran got his first win in the NAISCC Cups, whole entire series, I should say. I mean, he didn't get any wins in the Cup Series, but finally got it done here in the trucks last week. As drivers are coming to a close, that means qualifying also now coming to a close. As the drivers getting stacked up, it is time for your hot lap designs qualifying results. If you are looking for any schemes in the marketplace that for your car, your suit, or even for your helmet, Hot Lap Designs has got you covered. They have got old NASCAR schemes, brand new ones that can be designed for you, dirt oval, asphalt oval, also road course cars, all there at Hot Lap Designs. They can do it. As you throw over the qualifying results, over to you, Zach.
Yes, sirree. Trevor Earhart going to start from the front position there in pole position there for that 99 machine. Alongside him is going to be the 11 of Johns Forbes. Third is going to go to Ethan Smith. Fourth is going to go to Aaron Kralik in the 01 machine. Rounding out your top five is going to be Brandon Colley in that fifth position. Six is going to go to Sean Huffsteller. Seven is going to be Max Foner. Eight is going to go to Danny Cochran, last week's winner. Ninth is going to be Jeffrey Stone. Rounding out the top 10 is going to be Thomas Green. 11th place is going to go to Tyler Dingler. 12th to Ryan Ferrero. Guildhouse in the 13th position there. 14th is going to go to Cody Dorsey. 15th is going to be James Loveland. 16th is going to go to Vincent Sora. 17th, Tom Bourne, a newcomer here to the league. 18th is going to be Joshua Pike. 19th is going to be Dakota Moniz. 20th is going to go to Tanner Johnston. 21st is going to be Jared Talmage. 22nd, Robert Smock. 23rd is going to go to Thomas Walter. 24th, John McAdams. 25th, Cody Reed. 26th is going to go to Carl Poehler in the 71 machine. 27th is going to be Jacob Morris in the 10 car. 28th is going to go to Martin Morales Jr. 29th, Christopher Keurig. 30th is Gregory Shaw. 31st is going to go to Christopher Norris. 32nd, Jesse Thornick. 33rd, James Hubble. 34th, Joshua Freed. 35th, Kirk Schweischer. And rounding out your field in the 36 positions, we got a handful here tonight. Anthony Ludi, the 95 machine.
There you go, Zach. Getting through all of our drivers here. It is just a marathon to test if Zach's got the air to do all of that calling, and he did perfectly. As the drivers are finally starting to roll off, as drivers get set for the Shamrock Collectables 125. Big thanks to Shamrock Collectables, as Shamrock Collectables, some of the best collectibles, and also that of diecast you can find in that of the South Florida area, as they are the only ones that are going to be giving that of Salvinos junior models dealers in South Florida. If you'd like to get more information from Shamrock Collectables, go to their Instagram and Facebook, but they've got themselves junior kits for that of diecast. They've also got great brand new and custom kits to be found. Again, that is Shamrock Collectables, as they're going to be a race sponsor for the Shamrock Collectables 125. Zach, you got a little bit of a breather. Drivers are getting ready to get going here. But man, we have got a massive field that are excited to attack this course. But man, is it going to get dangerous here early.
I'm holding on to my seat, Sam. I cannot wait for this green flag, buddy.
Pace truck is off, and it is time to go on and race. It's race number 2 of the NAISCC Cup Semi-Truck Series. Here as drivers attacking corner number 1, it's going to be that of Earhart, Forbes, all going to be going side by side through 1 and 2. Right now they're surviving the first corner. We'll see if they can make it out of turn 4, which has been the hardest spot all through the practice and all week as they're going through 3 and 4.
Oh man, they're spreading out now here as they get down to 3. The Bucks, you can see them, they ride like a roller coaster over those things, up and down through the center of the corner. But I tell you what, it looks like Forbes already in the 11. They're early to go and getting into the wall off of 2. Oh, we got a car going around 3.
Already in the middle of the field, they're scattering, they're wobbling all over the place. Hard contact gonna be happening as drivers just piling in. It is already a parking lot in just the first 2 laps here at the Rock.
Oh man, and right there, I think it's a case of a little too much rear brake. Maybe getting on the brakes actually a little hard not to get into the back of Max Foner. They're from Thomas Greens. We'll go back here on the replay.
We're going to be running on board with the 3, and you're going to be seeing on the entry of turn 1. Getting close to the 51's bumper, and already on the entry. Just see the rear end taking off. The 2, nowhere to go for himself, and everyone else just trying to find space on how to get out of that situation. And whoo, Danny Cochran in the 2 somehow got 0 contact out of that.
That leaves me speechless. What a great job of him being patient and slowing the truck down to not hit that 3. I mean, he was right behind him there. You see the 70 and the 60 coming to the picture, and ooh, 66 barely gets through a Gregory Shaw. And you can see them all darting left and right, trying to make it through this carnage. There's going to be a little more contact there. And some bent up trucks already here, and Thomas Green, the one that's going to take the most damage out of that. That truck is crab walking.
Yeah, and the 70 that was that of Joshua Pike, who had nowhere to go in that situation either, as drivers have to decide, do you want to use your fast repair this early? We're, again, in stage 1. Drivers are going to be going until the end of lap 55. That's when stage 1 will come to a close, and only the top 5 will get bonus points. That's about 8 drivers all coming into pit road, going to be led by Pike and many others trying to get service done. But that was kind of what we knew was going to happen for most of this race, Zach, where someone was going to get loose or get jacked up that early into a corner, and everyone else was going to have nowhere to go.
Yeah, I think you're completely right about that. That was something we kind of expected coming in here tonight with this track at Rockingham. Very difficult track, especially with the amount of trucks. I mean, you do not normally see 36 trucks around this style racetrack here, and they packed house here tonight again here in the truck series, and it's just showing that calamity can happen at any moment in giant fields like this, and you got to keep your head on a swivel at all moments. Drivers like Danny Cochran did a good job to miss that. Some drivers couldn't help but get into that just due to where it was on the track. But also we see there with the 3, he got loose on the rear there entering the corner. I think that was maybe trying to check up not to get into the back of Max Foner there also. But I do know a lot of drivers here tonight taking that rear brake bias, dialing it way back to get a lot more front turn into these corners to have them rears stopping a lot better.
And drivers are stacked up, getting ready to get going here, as our top 5 going to be that of Trevor Earhart, Ethan Smith, John Forbes, as well as Aaron Kralik, and that of Brandon Colley going to be your top 5. Sean Hutzstutler, Max Foner, that of Jeffrey Stone, Kyle Guildhouse, as well as Danny Cochran going to be your top 10. As we're all stacked up waiting for the pace truck to pull off. We'll see if we can go green. It's our first caution early on lap 2. So you can go any longer than that. Pace truck is off and we are green once again for the Shamoch Collectables 125 here at Rockingham. And it's that of Trevor Earhart already gunning it ahead, 2 truck lengths ahead of that of Smith. As everyone else trying to get single filed up, side-by-side action, going to be back around 6th place on back.
Yeah, looks like Brent Colley's going to get clear. There's Max Foner going to take a look for that position there on Jeffrey Stone, the 18 machine. As he'll back out of that, Stone's going to be able to, or sorry, that's Sean Huffstow there in the 94. He's going to back out of that situation as the 18 of Jeffrey Stone now gets to the inside of Max Foner down here in the 1.
Yeah, and as you can see, Max Foner going to be doing his best to stay on the outside. As you see Stone trying to stay low, and really it's been the drivers that are on the low end. If they are not able to drift up, they get extremely loose out of the corner. We're going to be seeing if the 18 can hold on, as that of Guildhouse going to be making a move for himself. The 29 that is in front of the car that we're right on board, which is Stone, does not have a number sign, but you see the 2, Danny Cochran, making the pass, going to be moving up to 9th place. But man, Zach, looking at this field, everyone, I think they finally have realized, got to calm down, single file out, slowly make your moves forward.
Yeah, that we are. We're seeing guys definitely spread out here a little bit, give a little bit more room, maybe try to get to the end of that stage with a clean truck. It's 3 wide back here. Tyler Dingler, he's got Vincent Sawyer going to his inside, trying to make his way forward in that 15. He's going to back out of it, though, as Tyler Dingler holds on to that position. But, man, Vincent Sawyer being aggressive here early with a bad qualifying spot. We thought he may be a favorite coming in here tonight with his Cup Series performance, but having to start out near the back.
Tall match as well, going to be one of those drivers to watch out for in the 83, and newcomer Tom Bourne in the 31 going to be making his move forward. Tom Bourne, his number on our ticker is 54, but on his truck's to be 31. A little bit of a mishap, as I believe Tom was just a late entry into this race, so that's hopefully going to be fixed by next week. But right now, still seeing some hard racing, as the 83 going to be ducking it low, trying to get aggressive, trying to make the move forward into 13.
Yes, sir. He's going to get that pass done. Slide past Cody Dorsey there to take that 13th position. Tailmage really climbing up through the field here quick. And then Gregory Shaw in that 66. He's a few truck lengths behind these guys, behind Tom Bourne. He's up to 16th, driving the wheels off that 66.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are attacking right now. As here comes that of Shaw, going to be going to the inside, getting by that of Dorsey. Dorsey falling back to the 9 machine. Just trying to find a comfort zone to finally get into a rhythm, it looks like. It continues to get passed by, but Gregory Shaw, 66, Ohio native, going to be trying to make a move on the outside possibly. And, you know, with the new updates that have come in, Zach, I mean, it seems like a lot more courses you've been able to see drivers try the inside and the outside lanes out, but it seems like the middle lane is the most preferred here at the Rock. So we're riding on board with the 23 of Tanner Johnson as he's watching the battle of Morris and Loveland.
Yeah, I think you're right about the positioning there. I think the inside line is going to be the fastest line, but the line you want to make passes and hold people off is going to be that middle line. See the 23 jump to the outside of James Loveland here. It's so tough on the bottom there to be able to hold it down like Loveland just did there and clear that 23. It's such a tough job to do that, and that's why I think tonight, when you see somebody trying to overtake somebody, they're going to be going to that middle lane, trying to defend that position to get the run off the corner, because when you're trying to get off that bottom like that, you got too much wheel in it, that car or truck otherwise will snap loose as Loveland going to the inside there.
Loveland trying to get aggressive on the most aggressive driver we saw last week, that of Jacob Morris. Morris really wasn't showing any fear last week at Daytona, willing to make any type of aggressive move to block, make a pass. But here at the Rock, Rockingham, we're seeing it's Loveland that is putting the muscle over the 10 machine. But we'll see coming into turn 1, the 10 might be thinking about a pass, but decides just to follow suit with Loveland.
Yeah, that was a close action there between them. He's actually had a change for the lead at the moment. It looks like Ethan Smith, he's able to take the lead from Trevor Earhart, who's trying to fight back around the outside. Yes, he was side by side for the lead up front here. Earhart going to storm back around the outside here for the lead.
As we move up front to see this battle going on, it's now a 3-horse battle because here comes Aaron Kralik in the 1, who's thinking, the 0-1, thinking about making this a little bit more aggressive, but it's Ethan Smith doing everything that he needed to do and now running that middle lane, trying to avoid the bumps as much as possible, and he's doing a great job with the 0-0 and moving and leading here at the Rock.
Yeah, he got that pass done. Now it's clear of Trevor Earhart. He ain't got to worry about someone hanging on his door there. He'll be able to run his line, see if he can put a little bit of gap here, but Earhart not backing down at the moment as you're right on board. Aaron Kralik, who's having a fantastic run here in this 01 machine. Behind him, Brandon Colley's got up the 4th coming into the picture in that one truck. Having a lot of drivers having some good nights here to start off, especially some guys who had tough nights, especially Brandon Colley. He had a tough night at Daytona. We've seen the luck that man had right up front a lot of the night and just got caught up in some incidents there that took him out of the race. Right now, running top 4 here early in the go, and these are good points he needs.
Yeah, our front 4 doing everything they need to do right now, but really the Hornet's Nest is back from 5th on back. John Forbes able to survive a little bit of a bump from that of Hudstutler. Hudstutler trying to get aggressive for himself, but Max Foner, Danny Cochran, and also that of Jeffrey Stone, they have continued to beat and bang off of one another, and it has not stopped since lap number 8.
Yeah, these guys are all stacked up on top of each other. I mean, really, you can look back, it's always 8 trucks in a line right here. Someone makes a little bit of a mistake, they're going to be checked up and probably trying to get past his Stone in the 18C. He slides a little bit off the corner. That's going to let Kyle Guildhouse in that number 29 machine get to the inside and try to get that position from Jeffrey Stone. As they slide up into him on the corner, that's not good there. That's going to push Stone up the corner, and Guildhouse by him. His Foner up ahead of him is in the wall.
They are just beating and banging the tire wear. We touched on it earlier in the broadcast. That tire wear wasn't going to stay there for long, and I think a lot of drivers are recognizing that they need to get aggressive, but when they try to dive to the inside, they're not getting the grip anymore. They just slide right up the track and are using other drivers as a brake or kind of as a wall riding ability to get through these corners.
No, you alluded to it right there. These tires are starting to wheel lap 21 here. It is hard to hook that bottom lane, and when you're making passes, that's where you're going to have to pass. The driver's going to give you that bottom, and you cannot turn down there. You're going to see a lot of guys slide up into each other, and it's continuing to stack up here with Kyle Guildhouse in the 29, Vincent Sword, Jeffrey Stone, Tyler Dingler. There's so many drivers in one little area.
9th on back. They've also got that of Pike, who's going to be a lap car, going to be forcing these drivers to get down low, able to hold on, as it is dangerous in the middle of the pack as drivers are getting by. As you see Stone, that damage on the left side, he's been scrubbed up a couple of times, but still holding strong. But we're starting to see that switch up of drivers that have been keeping clean of their tires or being patient, moving forward. Those that were being way too aggressive early on, starting to fade back.
That they are. No, Jared Talmadge in the 83, a little bump to his back end from James Loveland in the 56. That sent him almost around. He's going to save it as they're 3 wide off the exit here. What a move there to save that thing, the 83. Great job by Jared.
Talmadge, what? That is probably, I know we didn't capture it on camera, but both Zach and I saw it. That might have been save of the year potential already for the 83. An incredible save for himself to still stay running straight. But man, short track racing now, Zach, has kicked in. Lap traffic. Each and every lap, we're getting closer and closer to really the meat of the lap traffic that we're going to get to. But the trickling of lap cars that we've been seeing that were damaged in that first caution of the day, that is now causing some issues for some of these drivers around 17th and 18th place.
Yeah, we have a few lap cars, like you said, they're dropping back through the field there in that area, and it's really stacking up the field when a lot of guys were side by side there. That was what created a lot of that carnage there. And luckily we stayed green for that. Look at this, John Forbes here. He's having a great run. Qualified at second spot, is holding on to fifth. But look at our last week's winner, Danny Cochran, in that two machine. He's even got a little damage on that right front there on that two truck, and he's working his way forward in the sixth here, trying to make his way up into the top five.
I mean, Danny Cochran, we put in the poll as no, yellow going to be thrown as it looks to be the 51 that is sideways on the entry of turn one. It's going to be Max Foner, and caution number 2, able to calm down this field for a quick second, but I don't think the field wants to be stacked up again.
Yeah, because now they got a question, do they want to waste one of those sets of tires? That's questionable, but I think you're going to have to. So here we go back on the replay.
As you're going to be seeing that of Sean Hutzstutler, Max Foner side by side. And we touched on tire wear and drivers trying to be aggressive here. And that's almost exactly what we're going to be seeing as that of Sean Hutzstutler drifts up, makes contact, and the 51 goes looping around.
Oh, that's just unfortunate there. Like you alluded to, Sam. Oh, you see a few drivers trying to miss here, Max. And they did a good job of getting by him here as he's sitting in the middle of the track. Man, really, that's kind of a case you were talking about, Sam, where guys were burning the tires up, and it was just hard to hold the bottom when you're inside of somebody. Hutzstutler not meaning to do that for sure. Hutzstutler, very clean driver. Definitely didn't mean to do that. Just slid up the racetrack with the old tires, and Max Foner is going to take the wrong end of the stick there.
Well, we thought maybe some drivers were going to stay out. Well, we got about, 7 drivers, 7 to, it looks like 10 drivers thinking about staying out. And the rest of the field, a lot of our front runners all coming in to get at least tires, it looks like, and packing it full of fuel. This is an interesting call, but, we've seen this before in the Cup Series on Saturday nights. The fact that, when you get 20 laps to do a run, if a caution comes out, the drivers that pitted usually were in a better place later in the race. We'll see how these drivers that stayed out, that being our top 14, how well they can hold up here, as right now it's going to be that of Ethan Smith back in 15th place with fresh rubber, but now he's in the middle of madness.
Yeah, that's the thing. You take tires and you put yourself back in this this crazy mess here. And from what I'm looking at right now, this is a tough decision. I was on the wrong end of the stick on a lot of those decisions to stay out, like Brandon Colley, Tom Bourne right here, Tyler Dingler, these guys staying out right now. I played this same exact strategy. It can bite you, but at the same time, you got to think these guys only had 3 sets of tires in the pits. The guys who pitted now have only 2 tires left. You're going to most likely want to take one at the stage there. So that only gives you 1 set in that final 70 laps. I would think you want to have at least 2, especially with how, this track is known for carnage and cautions. So we could see that play into the hands of these drivers who save a set of tires, because I've heard they did a practice race. 8-lap tires that had 8 laps difference on them were a huge advantage for the guys on new tires. So I expect these guys to get past pretty quickly, but at the same time, they're still in a good spot here with how much track position they've gained.
Yeah, and also, with some of the drivers that stayed out, a couple of them have already used their fast repairs from that first caution that we had. That being right now, looking at some of the drivers that are up front, Thomas Green, one of the drivers that's already used the fast repair, as well as Joshua Freed, not Freed, but that of John McAdams has already used the fast repair. And then of the drivers that just came into pit road to get service done for themselves, the 88 of James Hubble going to be back at 29th. He had to use a fast repair for himself. So we'll see how drivers that no longer have that safety net of a fast repair, if they take any damage, that is gone. Their mentality has to be completely swapped. As everyone's stacked up, getting ready to go, it's going to be Brandon Colley, Tom Bourne, Tyler Dengler, as well as that of Gregory Shaw, and that of Jarrett Tallmag, who's going to be in your top 5. Tanner Johnson, Thomas Green, Jesse Thordick, Martin Morales Jr., and also that of Christopher Norris, going to be your top 10. As drivers getting set to go, stage 1 will come to a close at the end of lap 55, unless we get a caution between lap 51 and 55, then that will conclude stage 1. But Zach, that's still a lot of racing that can happen, especially with a lot of fresh rubber behind these guys.
That it is here. Brandon Colley going to restart with the lead. Tom Bourne outside. Let's see how it goes.
Pace truck key is off. Brandon Colley going to be on the inside. Tom Bourne on the outside. And we are green as the one already taken off. And one of the things we were concerned about was there going to be any wheel spin? It looks like they're pretty clean, but side by side for second place, it's going to be the 19 and the 31 battling strong as Tom Bourne, newcomer, going to be holding strong on the outside, as well as the 66. Here comes Shaw, who holds on as well. That outside lane, they are moving right now.
That they are is taking off on them tires there early in the going on this start here. You know, one thing I noticed, Brandon Colley out front, a lot of damage. Same for Tom Bourne as there's a wreck.
Already massive carnage in the back, which is no surprise. More drivers piling in. This is going to be the 95 who looks to be in this, as well as the 12, which we knew this was going to be a factor to watch out for with drivers on fresh rubber and those on old tires, that there was going to be contact because of really the difference of speed and the closing rate going to be so great, as it looks like we're waiting to see if there will be any ticker popping up, as it looks like there is not. So we don't have a replay exactly what happened, but Ryan Ferraro going to be one of the drivers that's going to take an early exit already, going to take a DNF for the 12.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Ryan Ferraro there. Early exit out of the night's race. And really going back myself and looking at that, it looks like James Loveland there, a little bit of contact to the 95, and that's going to bring out that yellow there. And luckily nobody else involved in that somehow. So I mean, that was a wreck right in the middle of the pack from really 16th on back, and that could have been catastrophic for a few guys who just pitted. But this is going to help the guys who did not pit. This is giving them time. If we get a few more yellows before that stage, this could very well work out for these guys to be able to keep track position over the guys who have new tires right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is now giving them taking a little bit more time off. Again, stage 1 comes to a close at the end of lap 55, and since we're under caution, we're going to give a big thanks to, again, so many sponsors that are on board for this truck series. We've already talked about Race Car Graveyard. Great decals you can find there, as well in the South Florida area for Shamoch Collectables, and as well for Hot Lap Designs. Well, we also got to give a big thanks to that at ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. If you love hearing sounds when you are gaming or on your computer, well, why not feel the sounds as well? Get yourself a Gamer 2. It's a way for yourself to feel the vibrations of all the different sounds that you are hearing, and also helps you really adapt to what your car's doing while you're racing in these simulators, as well as just adding a lot more of an immersive feel while you're watching videos. Get yourself a Gamer 2 from ButtKicker with the promo code FreakyFast20 for 20% off. That's Freaky with 2 E's. Again, FreakyFast20 for 20% off with your Gamer 2 with ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing, as well as Makoni Setup Shop. Makoni Setup Shop, some of the best setups you can get here on iRacing, and with the new update that's come out, get yourself the best setups early on. And if you want to get 10% off of the best setups that you can get from Makoni Setup Shop, anything from dirt to oval racing, also anything from legends to cup cars, they've got you covered. Use the promo code FFB10 for 10% off on all setups at Makoni Setup Shop. Again, that's FFB10 for 10% off. Thank you to Makoni Setup Shop. We will talk more about Makoni Setup Shop later on, because it's time to get racing once again, Zach.
Yes, we are. Get ready to go back. Green flag race here. We should be getting the pace truck lights off this time by here. It'll be 1 to green. Right now, really the farthest anybody made it up there with those tires is Ethan Smith. He made up 2 spots. That's it, 15th to 13th. I mean, you only had really 3/4 of a lap to do that. But right now, I mean, the laps are clicking away here in this stage. The longer this goes, the better chance drivers like Brandon Colley, Tom Bourne, Gregory Shaw, Jarrett Talmadge, and Tyler Dingler up here in the top 5 have a chance to hold on to a better spot here at the end of this stage.
Yeah, I mean, looking at some of the drivers that are up front. I mean, Gregory Shaw up 27 positions from where he qualified. Jesse Dordick up 24 positions, currently in 8th place. Drivers that stayed out, able to gain massive positions, is another driver. That's Christopher Norris back in 11th, up 20 spots. So it's giving these drivers a chance to be up front, get a little bit of sense of, thrill up here, but that the drivers with fresh tires, such as Ethan Smith and also Trevor Earhart, back in 13th and 14th position, they are going to fly through this field if we stay green. It's Brandon Colley, Tom Bourne, Gregory Shaw, also that tall edge, as well as Dangler, going to be your top 5. That's the field getting ready to go green once again here at Rockingham Speedway for the pace truck, as he will make the hard left-hand corner to pit road, getting out of the way because we are going green once again at the Shamoch Collectables 125. It's Brandon Colley already going to be up 3 truck lengths over the rest of the field, but it's going to be Shaw up to second, Tom Bourne in third, but he might not be able to hold on as here comes the 83 on the inside.
Wow, look at this run here. These 83 to 3, and there comes the next yellow, and oh man, Gregory Shaw almost took a leader there as they're wrecking on the back straightaway. I think Ethan Smith is involved.
Ethan Smith, one of the biggest contenders involved in this thing, and more drivers piling in, and it just continues to get worse because drivers have nowhere to go. It's just a complete gridlock at times. Is our 4th yellow of the evening coming out once again.
What carnage we had there. We'll go back on the replay here and see exactly what happened to Ethan Smith.
Gonna be seeing the 00 on the inside. Just, the closing rate, but also other drivers making contact. 47 gonna get into the outside wall, come back across, and no one else really had anywhere to go, as you just see drivers trying to be evasive here, and others successful, some not as successful.
Oh man, that's unfortunate for a few guys. The 95, I think that's the second incident there after that last caution he's got involved in now. So it just is a tough break for a few drivers. And Ethan Smith, you gotta feel for him. You're looking great so far in this race. Started third, got the lead after a few green flag laps there, and was looking strong. And look at that, the 99 coming down also of Trevor Earhart. He has some heavy damage on the front of that truck too.
I mean, this is something I touched on earlier in the broadcast. You might be the fastest, but it's going to be the driver that's the most patient and is willing to just survive that's most likely going to win this race. And I think, if anything, this is shown. If you are a fast driver, track position, way more important than having that tire for just seeing these first 30 to 40 laps.
Oh, it is huge, especially a track like this. It'd be one thing around a mile and a half where they space out a lot. You got a lot of room to work. The track's wide, and the groove doesn't really, it doesn't go to one groove really click like this track does on the exits. And you can see just the carnage that happens. You get guys on different strategies like we are right now. Drivers trying to make their way back through. They get caught up in stuff. And right now, really the first truck on tires, I think it's probably 13th position, maybe John Forbes there in the 11 machine. I mean, so really nobody really using those tires to too much advantage so far, and we're less than 10 to go now in this stage.
Yeah, it's going to be John Forbes, who's now in 12th, as well as that of Jacob Morris in 13th. Those are the drivers where they've been at. But that's been the realm that all of the drivers that had fresh tires, that's where they've been. They haven't had enough green flag laps to really utilize the fresh rubber, as we are inching closer and closer to the end of stage number 1. That's going to be at the end of lap 55, or if we have a caution in between lap 51 to 55, we will have the end of stage 1 for tonight's race. But man, Zach, this is I know we were expecting a lot of cautions to come out, but 4 in the first 40 laps, I think that's a little bit more than I was expecting.
Well, I don't want to say I expected this, but this track's just so tough. It really is. And you got guys out here on different strategies. That's where it really throws a whole different curveball. When you got guys, where you qualified, that's your speed. It's going to kind of spread out and space out of that. But you got guys out here on old tires, guys on new tires here, guys that qualified up front, back here in the 15th positions on back, really. That's where you get these mayhem carnage incidents happening, where guys are trying to hold on to the best spot they can with these old tires and just getting a little bit maybe out of shape, getting into the wall. And that's all it takes is one guy to get into that outside wall, and it's complete carnage off of 2. So I'm not saying I expect more yellows here in this stage. I think we could go green to the end here to 55, but I would not put it past another yellow to happen in this stage here again because it's just such a tough track again, man.
Well, I mean, if we do the math, technically we could have at least 3 more cautions if they wreck immediately when we go green. But we're hoping that we can at least get a couple of green flag laps in to get a little bit of a sense of how these drivers can attack this course. It's going to be Brandon Colley, Gregory Shaw, that of Jarrett Tallmadge, as well as Tom Bourne. Thomas Green going to be our top 5 as teammates. That of Tallmadge as well as Thomas Green going to be in line on the inside row. We'll see how well they can really start moving forward because it seems like it's the outside lane that gets the great launch. Pace truck is off and we are green once again in stage number 1 for the Shamoch Collectables 125, as it's going to be Brandon Colley already getting low, trying to pull away, but it's the battle for second. Tallmadge is going to be trying to get aggressive, but you can see the drivers middle of the pack. That's where the fresh rubber is. They are getting mixy already.
That they are trying to go through the fact that Tyler Dingler trying to hang on to that 19 as these drivers try to slice and dice through the field here. But you got to take your time. Patience is the key here. Do not want to get caught up in anything to push you farther back out of this track position.
Drivers that's leading with fresh rubber, that's going to be the 10, but you're already seeing the 19 going high. Going to be a 2 wide, almost 3 wide in the middle of the field. This is all battling for 12th position that we're seeing as they are trying their best to hold on. And Vincent Sora, one of our favorites coming into the Solitaire season, he's back in 13th, but still as they're already spinning around, it's the 90, it's the 66, excuse me. We'll back up into the field, and somehow we are still green as they're off-track surface, and we stay green.
That they are. John Forbes there, and man, just caught up in that. Same with the 60 of Robert Schmock there, getting caught up in that incident as we stay green. Brandon Colley saying, oh man, I might have wanted that again because he's been doing great jobs here on these restarts to be able to get out front, but right now, the old tires are prevailing.
Right now, it's the battle for second as Tom Bourne going to be forcing on the inside. They're going to be 3 wide through 1 and 2. The 31 holding strong and going to be side by side for third is now. He's going to be finding the run on the outside much stronger and holding on. But man, are they still attacking? But watch out. The 10, Jacob Morris, fresh rubber. He is coming as we're on board with that of Tallmadge in the 83. Just getting a sense of how unstable this car is. Look at that steering wheel constantly moving as it is now a 6-car pack that we are seeing right now, all for that second place.
Yeah, that's some interesting movement in the steering wheel. They're wrecking to the back of the pack.
They're wrecking, they're spinning, and there goes the yellow. It's going to be the 18 of Stone. And I think that is everyone in the top second back to 6 lucking out on what could have been the big one up front, because Morris was about to stick his nose to go 3 wide.
Yeah, he was thinking about it there for sure. As we'll go back here on the freaky fast replay.
Oh man, riding on board with that of Stone, getting a sense of just wiggling and a little bit of contact with the 20, and also just looping it around. Finished off by the 24, nowhere to go.
Yeah, Martin Morales really nowhere to go there, like you said. And good job by Jeffrey, though, to lock it up, though. This is one thing that I would like a lot of drivers out there to take notice of. This driver right here, very smart. Locked it up, let everybody go by before he decided to roll away like that. And that is how you don't cause more incidents after the wreck, and he took less damage than what he could have if he just let the brakes go and rolled down the racetrack.
Oh, absolutely. As drivers that got passed by the fresher tires now going to be coming into pit road, that of Tanner Johnson and others. And I think at this point, we're so close to the end of the stage. Coming into pit road now, if you're only coming in is if you have damage. I think that's the only reason you have to come in, because if you're up front in the top, 15, you have to stay out, keep that track position. So when that stage 1 comes to a close, you still have that real track position, because we've seen it is not safe in the middle of this field.
No, it is not. That strategy to take tires there on lap 20 has backfired for a lot of guys. It has caused a lot of carnage, and the driver who's took the advantage of the most is Jacob Morris. I mean, look at that, 27th to 6th. He had a terrible qualifying job, and now he's in position to be the first guy on new tires, so he could possibly still get up here still. There's enough time for him to get that done, but it's going to be very, very tough because, we're seeing here, it gets so stacked up in 2 wide that you kind of can't go nowhere, and then you got to take a chance 3 wide, and that's where the danger really starts to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen just 2 wide already dangerous enough. I'm surprised we've seen 3 wide work at some points with drivers being so aggressive on one another, but now we're told to our top 5. They are in a kind of a danger zone as they're going to be on almost 50 lap old tires when we go green, while 6 on back, they're on about 20 lap fresher tires than the guys in front of them. So it's going to be a tough task, but it's only going to be a couple of laps that they have to worry about. As up front, top 5 going to be that of Brandon Colley, Thomas Green, Gregory Shaw, that of Garrett, that of Tom Edge, as well as Tom Bourne. Going to be your top 5 with Jacob Morris, Vincent Sora, Aaron Kralik, Cody Dorsey, and James Loveland finishing out your top 10. Fifth caution of the day as we're coming up to lap 50. As right now, it has been a real task and a story of tires or no tires. When do you want to take them? When do you want to take the risk to go into pit road and lose the track position? But also, who's going to come in and get damage repair? As we have seen a lot of these drivers already heavy damage all around.
Yeah, I mean, even some of the guys up front. I mean, looking at Brandon Collier, our leader, he's got some heavy damage on the right side of that truck. So he's done a good job to manage that. I got to give him credit there because you get damage on these trucks. Same with Tom Bourne there, actually in the 54 too. You get damage, and Jarrett Talmadge too. So I mean, you get damage. It's hard to deal with that, especially a track like this, where aero is actually pretty sensitive around this racetrack. So we'll see what happens here. We're gonna have 5 to go in this stage. Brandon Collier out front on the old tires. First truck on new tires is Jacob Morris. Let's see how these guys play it. Hopefully not too aggressive to get any more damage here late in this stage.
Well, with the timing of that last caution into this one, we're going to be going green. If we have a yellow before the end of lap 55, stage 1 will come to a close. But if we get to the end of lap 55, competition caution, our stage break caution will come out. So drivers know we're in the end game of stage 1. Only the top 5 get bonus points. As the pace truck is off, it's time for us to go green once again for the Shamoch Collectables 125 for the NAISCC Truck Series for the Race Car Graveyard Series, as it is going to be that of Brandon Colley up front, battling strong, but it's Thomas Green and Shaw side by side and into the wall. Going to be green. They're going to be almost 3 wide as the 83 thought about putting his nose on the bottom, but they're going to be 3 wide with that of 5th place. Here comes the 10 and others.
With the wreckage Shaw and the 10. Multiple cars involved here on this incident. There's definitely going to be a yell at some point here.
They keep on collecting in, and it finally gets thrown, but already more carnage happening, and tons of drivers questioning about that one. As massive carnage, the 10 blown engine, 66 of Shaw blown engine.
Whew. Yeah, not clear there for the 66 on the outside, and going to be some upset drivers when they see that there. You got to be more careful there to hold your lane and not close out that driver on your outside.
As you're going to be seeing here, yeah, the 66 just drifts up and nowhere to go. And Tom Bourne lucked out at not getting any more damage. Kralik got a little bit of side damage for himself as they just come drifting across. Everyone's trying to evade the best that they can. And you know, you've touched on it, the fact of locking down on the brakes and not really letting your car just drift around. Well, that was a point of letting your truck just drift and go wherever you want it to go without just slamming on the brakes and trying to just hold your spot.
Yeah, that's one thing I would like to see more drivers do is lock it down and just hold it there and, you know, not create more incidents that don't need to be created. Oh, we got to stack up on pit road here. Oh, man, that could have been detrimental for Brandon Colley there in the 1. He's going to have to go around them. Hopefully no incident there for him. Is a good job getting around.
That was a lap car, it looked like. The 88, who was a lap down, Hubble, just completely slams on the brakes under pit road. And that is going to be almost collecting our leader of Colley and Tom Bourne involved in that. Because that is a scary situation when you have a driver that's off pace and just doesn't get out of the way of the leaders that are coming into pit road to get service done.
There we'll see the race off of pit road. No damage repair for Colley, so he's going to save that fast break. I think that's super smart. You know, Brandon, we've seen his incidents in his past history here at this league. He does not have usually the greatest luck. I think he's saving that just in case that luck comes up and strikes him again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some of the other drivers that are here, that are up front. I mean, it's going to be a tale of who still has a fast repair at the end of this race, really, as it is a giant mix of drivers that are up front. Right now, those that are in the top 10 that have already used their fast repair. In fourth, the 99 of Trevor Earhart already has used a fast repair. The 71 of Carl Pooler going to be already using his fast repair. The 60 of Robert Shamoch going to be already using a fast repair, as well as Vincent Sora already using a fast repair. And those are just, 4 or 5 drivers that are in the top 10, let alone the giant mix that we have outside of the top 10 that already used a fast repair and have already gotten damage. The stage 1 has come to a close already, and drivers getting ready to go green once again.
Yeah, this is wild here. We're getting the pace truck lights off this time here. I mean, you have a lot of different strategies again here. The 01 Aaron Kralik, he pitted under that first caution of the race, or under that caution that everybody pitted there around lap 25. So he's elected to stay out here, and a lot of other guys electing to stay out too. So Vincent Sora, I believe, is going to be the first one out. He only took fuel also. So I believe the first guy on tires is actually going to be Brandon Colley back here in 13th. And right now, as you can see, the field is single file from there on back. So it's definitely a little interesting scenario we got going on with the strategy guys are playing. So no safe position here at Rockingham. Those drivers who just pitted, like Brandon Colley, who won the stage, got to be careful getting back through this field.
Yeah, and for the most of this field, it is going to be just chaos from here on out. Just because we knew already, I mean, with around lap, 30 or 40, we saw that the difference of most of the field came in to get service done. And then we had about 13 drivers decide to stay out. And so you had that defined difference of the guys that are up front are on older tires, guys that are in the back are on newer tires. Well, now it is a mixed bag of who's got fresher tires and who doesn't. Our top 2, 20-plus old tires, and everyone else back until you get to around that of 8th, where you got Carl Pooler. He's going to be on, 17-lap old tires, and then it's just who knows from there. It's going to be a jumbled mess, and who knows who's going to survive. Pace truck is off. Aaron Kralik going to be having the lead, as we are going to be taking an extended commercial break, as we're actually going to be slowing down as we've been extended into another lap of pacing, as drivers are waiting for the pace truck to get back up in front of them. They are waiting for the yellow to be thrown again for these drivers, as they're waiting and set to go. But as it says that we're green, we're actually just pacing right now as the yellow has been thrown once again.
Ooh, yeah, this is definitely something they're trying to get a scoring error fixed here, I believe, with the way the lineup is. I think it's because they think the field is single file like that from really the 10th position on back. So it is a little bit of an interesting circumstance we got here, but they'll extend the yellow. And another thing I see a lot of drivers asking is the sun is actually starting to possibly set here at Rockingham, and we're nowhere near the end of this race, and this track does not have lights. This may be a race that they have to call at some point, because if we continue into the sunlight like this is going to get late. It's 5:19 sim time, and it should be getting dark around, well, it shouldn't get dark till 7, but it just seems dark out there, I guess, for a few drivers. So maybe that's the concern.
Yeah, I mean, it's slowly ticking. Looking at the time of where we're at right now for the in-sim time, I think the driver should be good, but, who knows if we continue to just go at this pace of a caution every 10 laps. I don't think we're going to be making it to the end just because of how long these pace laps can take, as the driver's still pacing in line, getting ready to go. For some of these drivers that are further back, they could come in and just top off with fuel. And I think that's not a bad choice for some of these drivers. Come in, top off, as that of Jacob Morris going to be getting himself a lucky dog position. Going to be first car on the lead lap, back in 31st position. Only 31 cars on the lead lap. I think that's also a big surprise. Thought there'd be more drivers taken out already, as we've only had one DNF, that being Ryan Ferraro in the 12. Everyone else pretty much on track, except for the 88 of James Hubble, who is still in pit road getting service done for the 88 machine.
Yeah, a lot of guys getting work still done on their trucks here, as they're trying to get them all lined back up here. Looks like It's still kind of a little bit mixed up as right now as I believe they should be getting to 1 to green maybe this time by here, and maybe that'll stack them up here 2 by 2. But at the moment, it's definitely a little bit of interesting scenario that we got going on with the way the field is.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with the fact that everyone is single filed in the back, I mean that those are some of the drivers that try to take a wave around. Some of them also because they're a lap down sets them back there in line. So a couple of factors on why drivers are set up the way that they are, and I think it was kind of confusing a lot of the drivers on why there were so many drivers in line. Thought it was mixed up possibly, as it's just a very odd situation to be placed in.
Yeah, that it is. You know, we're trying to freestyle up here and keep it all going up here in the booth, and it's just definitely an interesting scenario. Again, the light's not out in the pace car, so I believe maybe this time they'll be going out. So again, we hope the lights don't go out in sim though, because they're going to need those to see. And looking at it too, it says sunset shouldn't be till 8 o'clock, so we should have 3 hours till sunset. Maybe it's just this mostly cloudy condition that's really making the track seem a little bit darker than it is.
Oh, it has been mostly like cloudy for most of the practice. I know that was one of the things that was kind of shocked me was how cloudy it was for practice and going into qualifying. And I'm not surprised the drivers are getting a little concerned of it. Just seems a little darker than usual. But also the drivers got to know that the setting that is put in for the sim is from last week. So the drivers, the weather from wherever the drivers are racing at. So for Rockingham, the weather that they grabbed from was from last week's weather. So a lot of this, mostly cloudy area. That's how the Rockingham area was last week during their Monday. As drivers stacked up, getting ready to go. We might go this time, Zach. We'll see though.
Yeah, looking good to go this time here, Sam. Lights are out. Aaron Kralik up front. Cody Reed on the outside. We'll see how they line them up here this time. The last restart we came to, I was a little worried. The 25 was so far back. The 01 was so far up. I was like, man, this is some weird spacing here they got going on, but they must have knew that they were going to extend it as we're all double filed up, getting ready to go back green flag racing here after stage 1.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It is the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series Monday nights, and it is only race number 2. Pace truck is off, and we are going green once again for the Shamoch Collectables 125. It's going to be Aaron Kralik, that of Tanner Johnson, already gunning it early on. Reed's got to be careful. He's going to be on the outside, falling back as Trevor Earhart in the 99. He's finally found himself back in the top 5, trying to make his charge back up to the lead.
Yeah, one of our fastest trucks we've seen here at Rockingham. He's right back in position after getting a lot of damage. He's used the fast repair. He's got to be careful as man carnage back here is starting to happen. Vincent Sora on bag. You got John Forbes there, and 11 up high. Then you got Robert Schmock in the 60, and there's damage there to 11. Gets into it. And,
oh boy,
very close.
Pretty wide.
It looks like Brandon Colley there a little bit involved in that. He gets a little bit more damage to the nose of that truck. Definitely not going to be fitting well for that one machine as he's got some of the newest tires out here on track. He's going to go around the outside of the 11 here off of 2. He's got to run on the 83 up ahead. Does he have room to go inside? Yes, he does. Now making a move on Jarrett Telmage.
Gonna be trying to make a move. Gonna be right on the end and about to bump off one another. And it is just carnage for a lot of these drivers. Seeing, hey, truck's still running 100%. Let's just bang up the sides. A little bit as there it goes. Oh no, Max Foner sideways, spinning on the entry of turn 3 as more drivers gonna be piling in further back. And it's Thomas Green. Oh, the 3 who had already used a fast repair automatically towing himself to pit road.
Yeah, and that might bring his night to an end unless he's trying to sit on pit road and get that worked on. But tough ending there for Thomas Green. Here's what we'll go on the replay.
And we're going to be seeing these drivers. It's going to be starting up front. 51's going to be getting out of sorts, diving down low, making contact with Tom Bourne in the 31 ahead of him. And Green just trying to be invasive, but not clear. And it's one of those moments where you see, whoa, that camera's that really funky VR setup. Oh, man. Gyro Cam going VR for us. As, in a sense of the drivers, they know they need to react, but they're not always clear with the movements they're making.
Yeah, the 3, you went to react to miss that ahead of him, but you got a car on the outside. So you got to, you're kind of in a stuck situation there at that point. So, man, tough spot to be in if you're the 3, but really at that moment, the only thing you can kind of do is just check up.
Yeah, but using the brakes is hard, Zach, sometimes. It's really
It
hard.
is. It
But,
definitely is.
it's one of the harder things, but for us up in the booth, I think we can get on our brakes and binders a little bit. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to go side by side for a quick little commercial break. We will come back as we are getting ready for the second half of the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series for race number 2 here at the Rock. Welcome to the carnage, the Rock here for the NAIS Race Car Graveyard. We are green once again, and drivers in the back, hard contact, but we continue to stay green. Up front, it's Aaron Kralik, Reed, instead of Cody Reed. Reed going to be under pressure as here comes Tanner Johnson to the inside, as well as Trevor Earhart. But Zach, there was a lot of mayhem further back as drivers now entering pit road.
Yeah, Danny Cochran was involved at multiple different drivers there. I believe even Brandon Colley and the one got caught up in a little bit of that too. It was carnage really from the restart go there. It seemed like a huge stack up we had there. It kind of sent them 4 wide there, almost into one, and that's never going to be good here at the Rock, as we've seen here tonight. Carnage is at any moment waiting around the corner, and right now Kralik, he's in the safest spot we've seen all night, out front. That's where I want to be.
Yeah, out front is the safest place currently, and really the battling that's up front in our top 4. It's going to be that Trevor Earhart able to make the pass on Tanner Johnson in the 23. Moving the 99 up to 3rd place as it's madness.
I'm unsure which truck that was. I'm going to have to go back and look. I believe it was Gregory Shaw, possibly. Oh, no, sorry. It was a similar looking truck to Gregory
That's
Shaw.
Cody Dorsey, and
yes,
also that of Thomas Thomas Walter, as well as Tom Bourne, all going to be around that mixed up. Well,
Man, oh man.
we get to take a look at what brought out our 9th caution of the day, but technically our 8th, because one of those cautions was a reset. As you're going to be seeing the 57 and the 9 getting a little bit mixy, and we've seen this all night long of drivers on the inside drifting up and just brutalizing the outside driver. And 31 Tom Bourne, nowhere to go, front end damage for himself, and the 9 of Dorsey locking up the brakes and able to get down, but contact with a 66. That's where Shaw got his involvement into this one.
Oh man, like you said, the driver on the outside takes the worst of it all the time from what we've seen. Dorsey just running up high, and no fault to Walter. I mean, he just got in too deep, lost the car, and slid up the racetrack. He's definitely not meaning to do that, but it's just a tough situation to be put in there for these drivers when they go side by side. If you can't keep it on the bottom, that driver on the outside seems to be getting the worst end of the stick here tonight at Rockingham.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, we've seen the outside be so good on speed the longer the run goes on, but at the same time, it is risky trying to make passes on the inside as multiple drivers into pit road, being led by that of Cody Reed. Reed, one of the drivers in our top 3, going to be deciding to come into pit road, get service done, and now we're going to be seeing how the drivers up front are going to be able to hold on. As I touched on this at the start of stage 1, back around lap 56. Drivers were going to have to pick and choose when they were going to be coming in for tires. They only had 3 sets in pit road, and we've already seen multiple drivers already use 2 sets, and we're a little bit past halfway. So now it's the choice. When do you feel like you need to get your extra set? As Aaron Kralik on some of the oldest tires up front, 47 laps on this set currently.
Yeah, and it's all about the timing, it seems, when you pit. If you time this wrong, you're going to go from the lead to somewhere around 15th. That's what we've seen all night from the leader so far when they've got a pit stop in here. And that's really took out both of the guys that were leading this race. I mean, Ethan Smith, right now, he's still running back there in 24th. The truck is clean, but he was our leader at one point. He pitted, got stuck back there, has never recovered. Brandon Colley wins our stage. He pits, gets stuck back there around 13th, and just drops back to the field as carnage happens in front of him. And he's actually on pit road getting some repairs done on that truck. So it looks like he's still saving the fast repair for that thing. But, just you got to time that right time to pit. And right now, I think Kralik's saying, I've seen what's happened to multiple of the leaders. Right now, I feel safest out front, so he's going to take those tires longer than what he would probably want to, but also got to think a lot of these laps under caution.
Yeah, a lot of them have been, as 2 other drivers have been added to the DNF list, as the 60 of Robert Shamoch, as well as Thomas Green, going to be added on with Ryan Ferraro in the 12 that will be DNF'd. As the 88 of Hubbell going to be able to get himself back on track. As we'll see how the 88, if he can get himself stay out there for another couple of laps, get another position up to 33rd, possibly for himself. As up front, it's going to be that of Danny Cochran, able to take the wave around. As we'll see how the 2 can attest for himself, as he is 2 laps down for a Daytona winner. Zach, I'm just looking at the field right now. Half of them have already used their fast repair, the other half hasn't. It just seems like everyone is on the same track of let's be aggressive here late.
Yeah, it's just come to push the shove now, and it's going to get probably worse from this point. I don't want to say that, but it's probably going to get a little more aggressive as we go here because it's getting down to the nitty-gritty here before we get back green flag racing, man.
Well, it's going to certainly be a boxing match from here on out as you see the pace truck pull off. Everyone's stacked on one another, but we are green once again. The Shamoch Collectables 125, as it is going to be that of Aaron Kralik, as well as Trevor Earhart and others. And a driver we really haven't talked about much up front, Vincent Sora, finally in the top 5 and about to be making the move to be up in the top 3. Here comes the 15.
That he is. Vincent Sora charging through the field here. And got to remember, he's on pretty similar tires to these guys as Tanner Smith there, or Tanner Johnson behind him had a big slide as it stacks up from behind him in the 4th position there. But right now, Vincent Sora out on board with him. He has got to be one of the favorites here tonight. Got to be one of the favorites for the championship because, man, this kid has such great pace and such good talent.
riding on board with the 15 machine and looking at the drivers that he's around. The 15 of Vincent Sora, freshest tires and those that are in the top 4. Similar set as the driver that's in 5th, that of Tall Edges. We'll see Vincent Sora be aggressive here and try to make the move, and it looks like he's willing to stay stable in where he's running. We're gonna fall back to battle for 7th place. Sean Hutstotler, as really it's gonna be the 8 of Freeds who's gonna be under a lot of pressure. He's number 3 wide for a quick second. James Loveland, he's 56. We know that he's very good at the tire-saving racetracks. Does the 56 have any magic left to possibly move himself forward? As we see the 11 of John Forbes as they are wrecking in the back.
Man, oh man, just piling into it again here. Having another caution here, 10th of the night and 9th due to a wreck. And it's happening farther on back here in the 20s.
Yeah, drivers certainly getting mixy here late in the race, as we're going to be seeing on board of what exactly brought out this 10th caution of the evening. I know we've been having drivers wondering what's going on with the 88 car. Well, he has just parked it for the night. As you see, once again, inside car just getting too deep and knocking the other driver out of the way, as there goes Thordick and Morris making their contact, bringing out this yellow as the 20 just drops down. Everyone else trying to avoid.
Oh man, just the same thing we've seen all night long. 1 and 2 has just been an area where drivers cannot go side by side, it seems, and it all it takes is one mistake, slide up into that guy, and it just spins him out. And man, oh man, this has changed it all up, because I think we've had a few drivers elect to hit pit road. That's Kralik and Sora. This may be the last time you see those drivers on pit road for the night.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those toss-ups, right, where you're coming in because you feel like, hey, track position is going to be the most important thing here. So banking on, hey, we guess there might be another caution later on, but we'll back off, let everyone else get aggressive here, wreck themselves, and then we'll push forward. Oh, man, I was hearing a lot of angry drivers on that restart. I primarily heard over the radio Danny Cochran, our Daytona winner, getting very verbal in the radio and aggressive, and it went back. There was a lot of hard contact from drivers that were in that 30th position. He got himself contact with 88, and kind of looked like that contact that they got. Decided the 88, you know what, I'm going to call it a day. My car is too junked up. Don't want to run into anyone else. As the 2, Danny Cochran, 3 laps down, had to come back into pit road to use his fast repair. And now up front, a driver that's leading, that of Trevor Earhart, he's already used his fast repair. That of Talmadge, who's in 3rd, already has used his fast repair. In 6th, Kyle Guildhouse, going to be another one of those drivers that's already used the fast repair, as well as Dakota Moniz in the 5. Just you go down the list, and it's like every other until you get to 9th, where it's just everyone practically from 9th all the way back have already used their fast repair. It's more of a shorter list if you look at the guys that still have it.
Oh, way shorter list, that's for sure. A lot of guys have already used those up. This could be a race of attrition. You know, this is the way I'm looking at it right now. Is, you know, drivers like Aaron Kralik, Vincent Sora, who just pitted there from those front positions. Right now, they are in 21st. That's where Sora came out. It looks like Kralik lost some positions on pit road. He's going to drive back to 26th. But, you know, looking at that situation, they're probably not going to pit the rest of this race. I mean, if I'm one of these guys up front, I don't know if I pit the rest of the race. It's just a huge question, a huge question mark to put yourself back there in the carnage. And guys who have fast repairs, they're going to feel a little bit more safe. Guys who don't have those are going to feel very nervous in these final portions of this race, because we just see it is a wild race so far, where nobody is safe at any point. You go down into the corner, you could be the next one that is pinballed around. And speaking of pinball, I think Danny Cochran, he's been the main pinball of the night in that 2 after winning at Daytona. It's been a tough day here in his second race.
Yeah, I mean, for the 86% of people that voted no on Danny Cochran going back to back, well, I think that if you were betting, you would win that bet. But you know, for the 14% that had that feeling that Danny Cochran was going to win, hey, good on you for being optimistic on that one. As drivers certainly going to be out here doing their best. As right now, it's going to be that of Trevor Earhart, Tanner Johnson, that of Jarrett Talmadge, as well as Tyler Dengler and James Loveland, going to be your top 5. And looking from 2nd back to 4th, those drivers have only pitted once so far this race. The rest of the field, they pitted 3 or 4 times already. So just showing some drivers, no, we'll go with the track position over trying to make sure we're repaired. This pace truck pulls off. It's time for us to go green once again for that of the race car graveyard truck series for the NAISCC series. They have done a great job so far of just trying to survive for most of these drivers. It's going to be Trevor Earhart up front, trying to pull away. All the side-by-side action going to be from 5th on back.
Look at this, Tanner Johnson diving to the inside of tailmage here, that 83. He's going to try to take that second position back after that restart. A little tailmage, a little loose there coming down the racetrack. Johnson has to back out of it. Here comes Dingler. But right now, Earhart out front as from Dingler on back. It's a stack up as Guildhouse puts a big block on the 11 of Forbes, and that stacks up the whole field.
Yeah, that's going to be battling from 6, 7 on back. They're rushing the wall for some of these drivers further back. That's actually going to be the 7 of Pike, who's going to be forcing the issue back in 16th place. They're going to be 3 wide for all the drivers back here. It's a hornet's nest. That's where Vincent Sora as well as Smith, drivers that just came into pit road to get service done, moving forward as Vincent Sora going to be forced at 3 wide once again. The 15 on the move as he's in 15th place, and there's smoke ahead.
Oh, you see drivers diving onto the apron here. It's going to stay green as everybody misses that there, but man, that's going to check up a few guys that definitely did not want that to happen, and there's the yellow.
Yellow finally going to be thrown by the admins. Too much carnage as drivers are on time.
And it looks like that was some contact again in one. Dakota Moniz to the back of, I believe, the 38, I believe. 38? Yeah, Christopher Norris.
We're going to be taking a look at this incident. Drivers certainly were getting aggressive up front, and we're trying different moves. And we'll see if it's the similar story, and it is. Car on the inside, moving up and making contact.
I think if we were to write a book, it would be a lot of the similar story going on in each of the chapters here tonight, as we've seen that just multiple times. Guys did a good job of getting down the track and missing all of that carnage there. It looks like the 95, maybe he got some engine damage there. It looks like his night may be over. He was involved in an early wreck too, getting that fast repair. So, man, oh man, this is just been one of the more wild races here. And, you know, in a new series like this where a lot of new drivers first time racing around each other at a track that is not a restrictor plate track, you know, this is bound to happen, and these are growing pains, as I like to call them, for a league.
Yeah, and the 95 of Anthony Ludi is going to be out of this thing, as well as it looks like that of Jacob Morris had to come into pit road because of a blown engine. He had already used a fast repair. Other drivers that are in pit road getting service done. I mean, you got that of Norris, Reed coming in. They're still in pit road. But yeah, if we were writing a book, it would be chapter 1, the downfall of the outside lane, and chapter 2, let's try to stay on the low side and not run into other people, because it has just been chaos. But like you said, growing pains. And Rockingham is such a difficult track, and the drivers even talked about it. They talked about how this setup was so difficult, and you even touched on it, Zach, earlier in the broadcast. The trucks just are not feeling really balanced or stable when you hit the bumps, and this is such an old course where the bumps are practically everywhere on track.
Yeah, you know, even the laps I did by myself on the racetrack, it was hard for me to keep it on the bottom. I like to pride myself and usually being a driver that is pretty clean out there. It's just one of those tough things with the night. When you're going in side by side, you gotta know that you're gonna have to lift and brake probably 10 to 15 feet earlier than you normally would, because you just can't take that risk. You know, when you want to go in there driving in deep and get side by side and make the pass, but sometimes that is the wrong thing to do. You gotta set up the exit a lot of times when you make passes. So the biggest advice I can give to a lot of drivers is just back the corner up a little bit more. Yeah, maybe the outside will clear you on entry, but that inside line should come back on late center exit, and hopefully, because you back that corner up, you'll be able to get that good run down the back straightaway to get to the inside of 3, where it's a little bit more manageable, it seems, to make passes.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now for passing wise, we know the drivers that got fresh tires, they're getting aggressive. We saw that from Vincent Sora as well as Joshua Freed. They were just willing to go 2-3 wide at every opportunity to try to move forward. And right now, Vincent Sora going to be back in 12th position. Wouldn't be surprised if the 15 machine can either roll the outside, but I think he's recognized as well as everyone else. If you got fresh rubber, you got to attack the inside lane. Otherwise, you're at risk of being hit if you try to move onto the outside. It's up front. It's going to be that of Earhart, Talmadge, Loveland, that of Johnson. Dingler going to be your top 5 with Guildhouse. Forbes, Bourne, Moniz, Walter going to be your top 10. Up front, I mean, we're starting to see a mixture of drivers we haven't really talked about all night long. 11 cautions, 10 of them have been on-track incidences. 1 has been an extended caution thrown on. It's been a long night, but still a lot of hard racing, and with the laps ticking away, it means the intensity level is going to rise even more than it's been. Pace truck is off, and we are green once again. It's the 99 of Earhart, getting a great launch for himself, but it's going to be leveling on the inside. Going to be trying to force it too wide for second place.
Yeah, another great start for Earhart out there. Talmadge going to hold on to that. Loveland going to take third. Loveland is the one I'm watching for, the 56. We always talk about him being so good on tires. If we get a decent run here to the end, he could be the man to watch for. But the stack up again from Tyler Dingler on back as Dakota Moniz, he's able to get by, and there is another caution.
I believe the 66 of that of Gregory Shaw.
Man, oh man.
You know, Zach, we touched on our book that we're writing about today's race. I think we can say this is, we're just sticking with the pattern, you know? The highs and the lows. You go low and you come up high and you take out the guy that's on the high line.
That it is the highs and lows today. That is for sure, Sam. You couldn't have said it any better way. There's the contact between the 89 and the 66 there, sends the 66 of Gregory Shaw around. And, you know, it's tough to see when, you know, these guys are battling back here for 25th, almost the last car on the lead lap. And going to bring out a yellow like that again there. So just, you know, a very tough night here for the league. And they're definitely going to have some interesting talks. And maybe the boxing ring here will get a pretty good use.
Well, up front, a very gutsy call made. Tanner Johnson into pit road.
Yeah, it looks like he may have got faked out a little bit there. I just don't know about pitting now. I personally, from my standpoint as a driver, I'm staying out the rest of the race. There is no way you're putting me back there. I'm staying out front. I'm going to try my best to at least be upwards of the 10th place up, because it seems like they get pretty well spaced out once we get going. It's just really from about that 7th position on back, it just gets stacked up.
Yeah, and now you're given a position for that of Vincent Sora to be on the inside. I mean, that's going to be the most preferred lane to be in as it continues on. And gosh, it is certainly, you know, the longer the run goes on for the drivers up front, their tires are just being worn down more and more. Yes, it's under pacing, but the tires are still being worn for those little moments that we do go green. And the more worn that they are, the more, you know, we're going to be seeing drivers sliding from the inside and just expecting their trucks to stick on the inside, and it's just not going to. Again, 12 cautions, 11 of them have been on track. 1 has been on extended caution that was thrown on. As you can see on our top of screen, the temperatures, you know, it's gone down 1 temp. It's gone down ambient temperature to now 86 degrees, but 96 degrees on track. It's cooled down quite a bit, Zaxon, from where we started in the day, but you know, we touched about time. Was that going to be a factor to watch out for? Well, luckily there is still plenty of time as this track and this race is coming to a close here shortly.
Yeah, track's cooling down, so gaining a little bit of grip for sure. Maybe help these guys stick to the bottom maybe a little bit better. Maybe that's a hope for a lot of these guys out here. But again, you know, it comes down at the end of the day when, you know, a lot of times you're washing up off the bottom, you're just getting in too deep. You got to back the corner up if you're on the inside of somebody. You can't go in there the same way you would without someone on your door like that, and just causing a lot of incidents due to that. And man, we'll see if we can get some type of race in here, but really other than that one long about 15 lap run we had, really have not had much green flag racing here tonight at the Rockingham Speedway.
As we are under yellow, and I just want to give a big shout out to everyone that's been watching. Thank you for watching us on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as so much more broadcasting racing going to be shown, as we are so excited for this series and the fact that NAISCC We were covering their trucks, I mean, their Cup Series for the long time. They expanded to the trucks and honored that they were allowed us to be able to cover them here Monday nights. Every Monday for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be great racing action as the drivers, one of their toughest tasks was here at Rockingham. And I think a lot of them are happy they're getting it out early on and not later in the season.
Oh, no, for sure. This is way better to happen early in the season than rather later in the season. It definitely is. This is, like I said, growing pains for a league. These guys will get through it here as the season goes on.
As we're waiting for the pace truck to pull off, you might be wondering what's our next on our schedule. We got Phoenix, more short track racing next week, as well as we're going to be going to Las Vegas in 2. Pace truck is off, and we are green for that of the Shamoch Collectables. 125 into turn 1. It's going to be that of Earhart still up front. This is exactly where the 99 wants to be.
That it is. He wants to see nobody in front of that truck. He's had a fantastic night, qualified on pole, and is really charged back up to the lead here. As right now, Loveland trying to hold off Guildhouse, who I must say has been very, very aggressive. Guildhouse has been very much able to block here tonight at any moment's notice. So we've got to see if he's able to pull any more of those moves there. But look at this here, stack up from the back here. Tyler Dingler trying to hold on with Tom Bourne on the inside here. Here comes Vincent Sora, also in the 15. He's going to stick it pretty wide. What a move.
And Jesse Thordick further back. You saw him brushing the outside wall. He's dropping down. We stay green. As Vincent Sora, yes, he's got fresh rubber, but he is seeing a little bit of a stall out because he hasn't been able to get by the 31 of Tom Bourne. Bourne has kind of been a stalling point and a brick wall for the 15. As Vincent Sora has not figured out how to get by him, and he's been just stuck right now in 9th place. As drivers still attacking, it's going to be the 11 and the 19 contact made. Tom Bourne into that of Stone, and they continue to race on, but hard racing for themselves. As there goes the 15 of Vincent Sora moving forward, and everyone, I think, just getting annoyed at this point with the knowing that the race is coming to a close and needing to make the moves right now if they want to get moving forward.
Yeah, you got to get going if you're going to go. And Vincent Sora says, I will take the most out of that. There's Tom Bourne. Oh, looks like he is going to bring it down the pit road here in the number 31. Unsure what's going on there, but looks like Brandon Colley, Ethan Smith, 2 of our leaders early in this race, battling back here for a top 10 position. That just shows you how much carnage we've had tonight.
Yeah, and what's even crazier, Brandon Colley is still not used to fast repair on that one, even with all the contact that he's had, but we touched on it. It's all about survival right on the back bumper. I mean, really the back roll cage of the one of Brandon Colley, watching the 00 of Ethan Smith. Smith's been doing a great job. 8 positions back from where he started, but doing an amazing job for the 00 just to be close to the top 10 without much carnage we've been seeing throughout this field, as it looked like Tom Bourne giving a drive-through penalty with the contact that we saw there that almost brought out another yellow.
You know, and actually that, our producer actually brings up a good point. It could have been incident points that brought that drive-through up. So that right there is something a lot of these guys possibly here tonight could be thinking about. His Guildhouse, man, he just knocks the wall down in that 29 machine coming off a 2.
Up to 4th place. You see he's got no number on that 29 machine. A couple of drivers don't have the right schemes put on for themselves, but as Guildhouse has been clobbering the outside wall, really defensive blocks for himself, Vincent Sora has been slowly chipping forward, and now the question has to be, Sora, so a little bit over 2.5 seconds back from that of Trevor Earhart, is there enough time to see the 15 possibly try to run down the 99?
I think there's enough time, but as if we stay green, he's going to have trouble here too, getting to the outside of this 29. He gets there. Now going to have to hope that outside line sticks here and that 29 doesn't slap the racetrack. Those new tires being used to advantage. He's going to clear on entry, get the run out of the corner. Now Vincent Sora up to 4th. He can see Talmadge right directly ahead of him, and not too far ahead is Loveland and Earhart. He has a chance here with 21 to go to definitely get this done.
You see the difference when it is in green. That means Vincent Sora is gaining time, but when it's in white, that means that Earhart's gaining time, as they are running practically identical times currently, and that's with Vincent Sora trying to pass drivers currently in 4th place. Vincent Sora going to be making the pass here for 3rd, and there he goes, full sail. Now the goal for the 15, try to gain 2.8 seconds onto the leader, but he's also going to drive her in front of him. It's James Loveland That's 0.8 away from that of Trevor Earhart.
And you can see the time being gained by Loveland even. He's able to put down some faster laps too than Earhart there and see if he can close in the gap. And you can see Earhart, he's elected to move up top here. This is a very interesting call. This is, maybe we're seeing some these drivers finding something now as we're getting some green flag laps, able to find some speed here in that 99 here. And he's looking at it, run the middle line here, able to cut down, do a little bit of a diamond here, get the run off the corner. And I tell you what though, Loveland, his teammate, not too far behind.
And I don't think we're going to be staying green for long. Yellow flag waving, and it's Carnage back in 18th, 17th place. And I was just about to make a call on the fact that the middle of the pack, they were looking like a hornet's nest once again. And Sean Hudstetler going to be the one that gets spun around for the 94. But, man, Zach, we got a little bit of a glimpse of possibly a battle that was about to brew up. But then we got this incident. We're going to be seeing the hard contact of drivers. This is all drivers that are battling first, 16th to 21st position, and Shaw getting into the 94 there.
Man, oh man, there, Huffstutler gonna get used up the most there in the 94. Gonna bring it to a stop there, but we even had some extracurriculars after that incident. Our fourth place man, Jarrett Talmadge, he got contact from Kyle Guildhouse in the 29, sent him around. And I'm unsure if he'll be able to get his position back. We'll have to see if Jarrett can get back up there. But, and look at this. Trevor Earhart going to make a pit stop. This is...
Oh, this is gutsy.
Yeah.
This is a very gutsy call.
Same with Loveland, too.
I don't believe Talmadge ever did get that position back for himself. He's still back in mired, back in 21st position, so... Yeah, I wonder if there is going to be any looking at that spin that happened from the 83 and the 29. But that pit stop now going to be putting Vincent Sora up front. The next closest driver with freshest tires looks to be Trevor Earhart in 10th place, which, Zach, you touched on this about 30 laps ago, of the timing of when you come into pit road. Right now, it's looking great for that of the 99, but also I'm looking in 7th place. That's where we find Tanner Johnson, who we said got fooled the last time we had a yellow, came in by himself. Well, now he's in 7th place with some of the freshest tires up there.
Yeah, this is playing out to be a very interesting strategy call for a lot of these guys. Earhart's going to be able to restart, it seems like, here in the 10th position is what it's looking like in the level there in 11th. So that's going to be the first trucks on new tires. That still is a good distance away from that lead because we see how hard it is to get through traffic. Sora, he was cutting through pretty quickly, but at the same time, that clean air out front is just so critical. Maybe they felt like they were sitting ducks with this 15 right behind them and they felt like they want to go out here and get the win tonight. But at the same time, I felt like that was a top 3 for them to, be able to hold on to most likely with the, the trucks they have behind. But we'll see how it shakes out, man. I mean, they could have timed it perfectly here. But Tanner Johnson, like you said, he's the one that could have possibly timed it the best of anybody now up to 7th.
Yeah, I think everyone was kind of nervous on the tires that Vincent Sora was going to have being so much closer. Instead of having a 2.5-second gap lead, they were going to have practically only a half a second over the 15 if we restarted. So, hey, why not throw a risky move out there? We've been seeing a lot of drivers getting very antsy up front, and it's only going to get worse from here because most of the field have fresh tires. That means all the hard driving and very, aggressive moves in the entry of these corners, it's going to ramp up more because drivers feel like, hey, I've got fresh rubber. It's going to stick.
Yeah, that's the thing you think sometimes as a driver, and it's just sometimes that new tires can fool you a little bit. You go in there thinking it's going to stick, and it slides out the racetrack, and we have similar incidents to what we've seen all night. Right now, though, if I'm Vincent Sora, I got to feel great just to be able to get a good restart here. That's going to be the key for him, and get out and get away. And at the same time, if he can get a few yellows, it's not going to be that bad for him too, because this will, slow down the progress of those guys behind.
Up front, Vincent Sora, Dakota Moniz, Thomas Walter, Brandon Colley, Aaron Kralik, your top 5, Max Foner, Tanner Johnson, Tyler Dengler, Joshua Freed, as well as Trevor Earhart, your top 10. Pace truck is off. Let's see if we can finish this thing out as we are green. 13 laps to go here for the Shamoch Collectables. 125 for the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. Is this Vincent Sora trying to get as big of a gap as possible, and it's going to be all the drivers that are second on back, side by side. Thomas Walter, Dakota Moniz, they continue to be racy, but we're seeing all the different drivers. Max Foner, he's getting bumped out of the way, but man, is it going to be a dicey show, because right now Vincent Sora's just pulling away. No one is even looking close to the one.
Oh, Walter washes up the racetrack here. That's going to be close between him and Moniz racing for second. What does Brandon Colley do here in the one? Also the 0-1 Eric Kralich. A little check up here.
It's going to be that of Earhart spinning around, bringing out our yellow, and it is now everyone piling in late.
And that right there is, I don't want to, say Earhart made the wrong decision, but he made the wrong decision pitting. You put yourself back there in this, and this is what you get.
And, we saw a lot of this during the practice of drivers that were on cold tires just getting extremely loose because there wasn't enough heat built in. This is exactly what we saw. Got loose, tried to save it, overcorrects, and gonna be trying, holding on, and overcorrects, come across, almost taking out the 00, and just everyone else nowhere to go for themselves. And oh man, 47 nowhere to go. Tom Bourne also going to be involved in that one, and
see, most likely that's going to end the night for Trevor Earhart too, because he took a faster pair early in this going. We'll see if he tries to get it fixed. It looks like that car is smoking, so it looks like it will have some required repair with the engine damage he has, and that is, it's such a tough break. He took a big risk there, man. That's the risk he takes. We've seen how well it looks when you restart out front, and I mean, you see it there. Vincent Sora had about a second gap after the first lap just due to when drivers get side by side there for that second place, third place, fourth position, it checks them up so much that I wouldn't have gave away that outside. I mean, the restart from the lead. It's so important when you have that. And man, I can tell you what, it's definitely getting a little bit darker out there on the back straightaway.
Yeah, and more drivers getting added to the DNF train. Tom Bourne as well as John McAdams all going to be thrown into really just the going back to the garage, as it has been a long day for a lot of these drivers. Jesse Thordick also going to be in pit road getting a lot of service done, as well as Earhart. Other drivers are going to be in there. Looks like Hal Gilhouse as well as Freed going to be getting service done for themselves. But up front, Vincent Sora, Dakota Moniz, Thomas Walter, Brandon Colley, Eric Kralich, your top 5. Tanner Johnson's going to be in 6th place, so able to move up one position. Max Foner, Tyler Dangler, as well as Loveland and Jeffrey Stone. The 18 of Stone, he's now coming back into the mix in the top 10. We've seen the 18 go bobbing back and forth from 15th up to the top 10. We'll see if he can find some good rubber and start moving forward, because everyone from 9th on back has fresh tires, and they're going to be trying to gun it for everyone that's in the top 8. But we've already seen it is very difficult to gain positions, as the lights for the pace car looks like they're still on. So we're going to have one more pacing lap. But Zach, I mean, it looks like this race is in Vincent Sora's hands, just based on how things are going for this race.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to take it from him, I think, Sam. It's just what we've seen all night. Being out front is the safest spot. We have not seen the leader be vulnerable many times, and that's why I personally wouldn't have gave it up if I was the 99 in the 56 shoes. Being out front like that, controlling the restart, especially as teammates have your teammate there with you. I feel that was kind of a no-brainer for those guys to stay out here, but man, oh man, it's shook this up now. Dakota Moniz, he's trying to get his best finish of the season so far. Thomas Walter right there in the picture. I mean, look at the guys up front, 16th, 19th, and 23rd, where they started for our top 3. Eric Kralich and Brandon Colley, kind of where they started tonight. But, those 3 up front, they've definitely took advantage of this carnage here.
Yeah, I mean, looking at some of the biggest movers so far, yes, right now, biggest one would be Thomas Walter. Second biggest mover, driver that's in 17th. It's going to be that of Kurt Schwarzer, who's going to be one of the drivers that's really made his move forward, qualified all the way back, practically in last place, 89, up to 17th. But up front, it's time to see what Vincent Sora, Dakota Moniz, Thomas Walter, what they've got, if they can hold on to fresh tires. from everyone, ninth on back. Thank you to all of our major sponsors, ButtKicker, McConey Setup Shops, that of Track Racer, Hot Lap Designs, as well as, that of Shamrock Collectables for being the Shamrock Collectables 125 for today's race sponsor. And of always, the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. We're green, 7 laps to go to see who's going to be winning here at the Rockingham Speedway is green once again. Much better start for that of Thomas Walter, as he's now going to be trying to stay on the back bumper of Vincent Sora, but third on back, it's side-by-side racing.
Yeah, Aaron Kralik there, the 01, trying to get by Moniz in the 5, who was in that second place position on this restart. Johnson goes way up the track, and Tanner at 23, he slides backwards. As right now, those new tires, James Loveland there with Ethan Smith, both those drivers on new tires still not gaining the time they need. 7th and 8th right now, trying to make their way through 1 and 2 to gain the time available. But right now, Vincent Sora driving away.
Yeah, Vincent Sora going to be up and dropping back to James Loveland, who's the first one with freshest tires. He's 1.8 seconds back, and he has not been able to get by that of Max Foner at all, stuck on the high line. But it's going to be Vincent Sora continuing to pull away. He's almost a full second up from second place to Thomas Walter, but it's third place that might bring out a yellow, as Kralik, Dakota Moniz, and Brandon Colley, they're all mixing with one another. But oh boy, drivers getting loose and heavy, because the Colley holds on as they go into turn number 3.
What a block from Kralik. That sure Brandon Colley will be thinking about that one if they have another yellow, and there it is. Yellow flag is out as I say it, and we will be back under caution. James Loveland, though, up to 6th.
Tyler Dengler, who was up in the top 10 when we went green, gonna be the 19 spinning out, and very similar to what we've been seeing all night long. Driver on the inside touches the apron, moves up, and takes out the driver that's on the outside. It's good to see the 70 of Joshua Pike. Just, drivers trying to get as much as they can, go down, touch the yellow line, and up they go.
Oh yes, very similar condition we've seen all night long, Sam. Our book continues to grow here at Rockingham. It has just been one of those nights where you just can't get away from the carnage that we've seen. And man, oh man, Tyler Dingler had a great race going tonight in that 19 machine, but it's going to end up in smoke.
Yeah, Trevor Earhart also going to be a driver that has now parked it for the evening. 15th caution, 14 of those have been on-track incidences. 1 has been an extended caution added on for these drivers, and now it's time for the drivers to think, what moves do you need to make here? Because we have now moved on from, a 7-lap shootout to now what is going to be, once the drivers go through, I believe at the timing of that yellow, we are going to be going into overtime. We're going to have 3 attempts at overtime if needed. But, I think we might have to use all 3 attempts, Zach.
Yeah, that's what James Loveland's thinking. He's thinking, man, we need to use all 3 of those attempts as much as possible. Let me get a few positions each restart here to give me a shot up there. Same with Ethan Smith and the 00, those new tires there. These front 5, though, they're saying, can we get this thing done with? We have been battling too long for these positions, and they're probably getting tired of it here at this point. Is really, we've seen that bottom lane on the restarts has been the way to go. Aaron Kralik going restart in 3rd. That's what Walter used to jump Moniz, who slid back to 5th there. And again, that outside lane, that 2nd and 4th position, we see Moniz restart there in 2nd, and Brandon Colley now restart in 4th 3 times in a row. They've lost positions each time on that outside lane. So going to be tough restarting up high for Walter and Colley again. But right now, Sora has got to be looking behind, because that 0-1 of Kralik, he's shown a lot of speed tonight and led a lot of laps.
Yeah, Kralik is actually on the same strategy as Vincent Sora. So they're on the same tire compounds of when they last came in, which was 42 laps ago. So they're going to be eyeing one another on how they want to attack this restart. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here on Freaking Fast Broadcasting. More coverage going to be on Wednesday night for the Underdog Racing League, as Joe's drivers, mixture of some of the guys that are racing here tonight for the Truck Series, also race Wednesday night. But this is going to be our first attempt at overtime. If we get a yellow before the white flag, we go for attempt number 2. But if we get to the white flag, we then race it to the ends where gloves are off. And Zach, we've seen a lot of the series that we cover like to emulate what we see in real life NASCAR, and I would not be surprised if we see somebody absolutely door slam another person for the win here.
Oh, I would not be surprised at all. I mean, we've seen people use up each other all night long. That, it comes down to the white flag. You may be doing that. So we'll have to see if some driver gets their elbows out and uses that right side of their truck to get by somebody here. Vincent Sawyer's just hoping he gets the best restart possible out front where he doesn't have to do that. But we'll see how it all shakes out here as we come into 2 to go when we take this screen.
It's going to be Vincent Sora, Thomas Walter, Aaron Kralik, Brandon Colley, James Loveland going to be your top 5. More racing action going to be here for the Truck Series next week as we go to Phoenix, Las Vegas, and then in 3 weeks we go road course racing at Lime Rock Park. But first, we got to get ready for today's race to come to a conclusion. Our first attempt at overtime for the Shamoch Collectables 125. We're going to go green. It's going to be Vincent Sora taking off with Thomas Walter, Brandon Colley, Aaron Kralik follow behind, side by side for third. Thomas Walter needed that type of a restart, but he needs to get closer if he wants a shot. He's got to really dig deep as they're single filing out, but it's further back. You got to be careful. Loveland on the back bumper of the 0-1, but here comes the 83 on the outside.
Elmage, what a run from him around the outside here. We're going to take the white flag.
It's your Cosmic Candles, 1 to go. As we've gotten to the white flag, we only needed 1 attempt. It's going to be Vincent Sora up front by over half a second, pulling away with a battle for third. You see on screen, it's Colley, it's Talmadge. They're side by side, but through 3 and 4, we move up to the lead. It's Vincent Sora out of turn 4, getting the checkered flag, winning, locking himself into the playoffs as they go door banging across the line. Oh no! But Sora gets the win as Talmadge drops the 9th.
Oh, man, what close racing between Colley and Talmadge going down to the end. Talmadge makes the mistake and gets up into Loveland. That's going to cost both those drivers some positions, but what a win for this driver here, the 15 Sam. Second place last week. He's going to come back here, get the win, and solidify maybe that position as the favorite heading into the season.
I mean, the 15... after, most of, nothing against you, Zach, but since most of Category 5's gone, RS Racing for the Cup Series are not here. It's now been gifted to the 15. Vincent Sora was the odds-on favorite coming into the start of this season. We knew he was going to get a win at some point. He didn't win at all during the Cup season for Season 3. And finally, race number 2 of the first season of the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. It's Vincent Sora getting to burn it down, winning here at Rockingham for the Shamoch Collectible 125. Congratulations to Vincent Sora. As we're going to take a quick break, when we come back, Zach's going to be talking to our top 3, Brandon Colley, Thomas Walter, and our winner, Vincent Sora, who's already having fun at Victory Lane.
All right, we are back here, everybody. I'm Zach Hall up in the booth. We're about to have our post-race interviews with our top 3 drivers. First man up is that one of Brandon Colley, our Stage 1 winner. Let's hear from the man in the one truck, Brandon Colley. Hey, Brandon, Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
I got you, Zach.
Well, man, I tell you what an eventful night here at Rockingham. You're able to get that Stage 1 win with the strategy there, staying out with, really the carnage that ensued here tonight, man. Explain to us how you were able to get back to third, man, because once you got there after that Stage 1 pit, you had to really fight your way back there and hope to not get caught up in a lot of that stuff that you kind of did.
Yeah, it was a lot of just being patient and giving up a lot of spots when I saw people getting out of shape. It cost me a few times, but I was able to keep it for the most part clean. We had the one incident. I was riding the high side. I think Cochran behind me. We were checking up for it. He got into the rear bumper, but not really that much damage and was able to keep going. But luckily, he was able to miss pretty much all the carnage in front of me tonight.
Yeah, that you were able to do that, man, and right there in front of you, most of it was involved once you pitted for that stage. Just describe to us this track. It is so tough. It seems like a lot of guys had a lot of tough times going side by side through the corners and keeping their cars on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys saw it. There was just a lot of guys not understanding the entry to the corners, just really overdriving it a lot. And the diamond line that these guys were taking, it's fast for a couple laps, but you can't do it side by side. And I mean, we only got short runs, so it'll help you in the short run. But if you're gonna, try to make that move underneath somebody, just you can't really dive it in there. It's just so tight of an entry to all the corners, especially with the bumps in turn 3. If you carry too much speed, it's just gonna, sled the nose of your truck up the track, and you're gonna get into somebody. And I'm sure you guys saw a lot of that tonight. But just tough race. I mean, the track it's hard on the tires anyway, but it's just so hard to pass and makes for good battling. But man, is it frustrating.
Yeah, I can only imagine being a driver out there tonight. It definitely was a mental battle, I'm for sure, out there as a driver. You bounced back from Daytona, my friend, also, 31st there last weekend. Now come back here with a third place finish and a stage victory to go along with that to help with the points there. How does that feel to get the bounce back? And next week, heading to Phoenix, that could be one of your better tracks possibly.
Yeah, I mean, it feels really good. That was kind of the game plan going into tonight, knowing, the situation we were in after Daytona just didn't quite work out for us. We led a bunch there, but couldn't finish it out strong. And I thought I was in trouble for the stage points there, but luckily enough guys stayed out to give me enough of a buffer behind me for the fresh tires and got a good 5 points and battled back for a really close third there. Was able to hold off the 83 on the fresh tires and get to talk to you guys. So it's been a while, so glad to be up here, but good points night.
That it was, man. The one truck looked good out there tonight, man. Before we let you get out of here and head off to Phoenix next week, Brandon, anybody wants to send a shout out to you in the one?
Well, you guys, first of all, Freaky Fast Broadcasting. You guys, being a part of what you guys did for a little while there, always enjoyed it, and seems like everybody always enjoyed our broadcast. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscription button there and check out all the races throughout the week. Second, all my Category 5 teammates, you, Cedric Hunter, Brian Johnson, Larry Yingling, just everybody, man. You guys, I mean, we did a lot of testing for Road to Pro, and it's really helped me out with these trucks here in the long run. So it helps with the confidence there. And also the guys here at Max Motorsports, I joined their team this past week here and got some good talking points and just some strategy from those guys throughout the race, and that really helped a bunch. And, helped Thomas Walter get up there into second as well. So just got to thank them.
Well, awesome stuff, buddy. Congrats on Thursday night, Brandon. We'll catch you next week in Phoenix, buddy. Hopefully farther up the grid.
All right. Sounds good, man.
All right, everybody. That was your third place man, Brandon Colley in the one machine. Now we'll move on to the 57 of Thomas Walter. What a run it was for him tonight to be able to bring it home in second for the 57. Let's hear from Thomas. Hey, Thomas, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Zach, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great up here, Thomas. I tell you what a mentally draining race I can only imagine for you drivers out there. Explain to us how you were able to go from 23rd to second, man, with all the incidents we've seen tonight. How were you able to skirt through and get second?
Well, it wasn't easy. That's obviously true. I mean, if you took a look at my truck, it is pretty beaten up. It's been a battle, that's for sure. That first caution got ran into from behind, and then just trying to avoid stuff. I hit the inside wall, stuff like that. And, the Funky Techie North Star Designs Chevrolet did pretty good. On the long run, we were kind of worried about tire strategy, but we had so many cautions, it didn't really matter. And we were kind of really surprised that group in front of us hit. And so it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I didn't think I was a top 5, top 10 car, but I'll take it any day the way that it's sorted out. I wish I could have gotten to Vinny. I was right on his butt, but he just had the fresher tires and I couldn't catch him there. But the whole team, Brandon, you know, we worked a lot together towards the end there just to make sure that we were at least getting top 5s for as many of us as we can. I know that Max was in there as well. But unfortunately, too many incidents for him. It's just those early incidents really, really punish some of these drivers out here. I'm actually really surprised that we had so many finish based off the amount of incidents that we had. But and it just shows that everybody wants to come out and race.
Yeah, that it does, man. A lot of guys still out there racing to the end with some beat up trucks. They are very committed tonight, that's for sure. Next week we head off to Phoenix, man. Another short track. Not as tough as this track, but some short track racing with a big field like this. It could be pretty spicy for us up here in the booth. How you feeling about that track, though, man?
I love Phoenix, so I hope to be up front. I know that Vincent's really good there. I know Brandon's really good there. I hope to be up front there. It's one of my favorite tracks out there. I've gotten a couple wins up there in the Cup Series, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it and looking forward to Vegas after that. Not too much the next 2 tracks after that, but we're looking forward right now. We got a good points finish, and we're just looking forward to Phoenix.
Yeah, man, it should be fun next week at Phoenix at that short track, man. Congrats on second here tonight. Thomas, what a great run for yourself, man, to bounce back after last week at Daytona. Before we let you get out of here, though, man, anybody want to send a shout to?
Yeah, I'll shout out to my wife. She lets me do this Monday nights, and it's when I'm locked away in one room for a couple hours, it's not always fun, but when I come back with a smile on my face after a good finish like that, I get to see her, and I'm really happy that she allows me to do this, and she puts up with my crud. So we'll just leave it at that, and we'll move on to Phoenix.
All righty, Thomas. You have a great night, man. Congrats on second, and we will catch you next week in Phoenix, buddy.
All right, thank you.
All right, everybody. That was your second place man of Thomas Walter in the 57 machine. What a good run for him tonight and the Max Motorsports team. Now we'll move on to our race winner. First of the season, Vincent Sora. What a night it was from this driver here. Some thought he was the favorite coming into this season. Pushed his teammate to a win last week at Daytona. Now with a bounce back here with a win here at the Rockingham Speedway. Let's hear from Vincent Sora in the 15. Hey, Vincent, Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Well, Vincent, what a night it was for you, man. I tell you what, just a wild night in general with the amount of incidents we had here. Somehow, you're able to manage your way from the 16th position to that lead. Take us through that race, because that had to be a very mentally draining race as a driver.
Oh, yeah, for sure it is. Especially at a track like this, close quarters racing. It's really bumpy, hard track on tires. There's going to be probably a bunch of big wrecks and stuff. I messed up my quali lap. I was a little mad at myself, but at the same time, I was like just kind of figuring it out and thinking, I can probably get up through here if I'm just calm and kind of wait and be patient. And I did. I got up to like 8th on the first run, and then there was just caution after caution, and we had an extra set of tires, and I used it, and then I just drove from like 8th to up to 3rd, and then the guys in front of me pit, and then we got some more late race yellows, but I was able to win it, so I'm just super happy.
Yeah, man, first win of the season here after last week pushing your teammate Danny Cochran to a win. That's got to feel great way to start off the season. And, me and Sam and all of us guys up here in the booth, we talked about, possibly you being the favorite for this season. So many good drivers in this series, but, your name definitely stood out from a lot of the guys in here, man. And tonight, that kind of proves with this win. How does that feel to have a great start like this and then also have probably a good track for you coming up also with Phoenix?
Yeah, it feels really good. Obviously, confidence is key. So, having the good confidence boost going into a track like Phoenix will certainly help. And just throughout the whole season, I know I've got some tracks circled that we're coming up to. So, it should be fun. Really good start to the points. I'm definitely going to be the points leader. Team standings probably looking good. So, yeah, feeling
That
good.
it will be. Yeah, that it will be, my friend. You definitely got to feel good after that. Going to be taking that points lead and putting that 15 up there up top on those points. It's going to be tough for everybody to catch them as the rest of the season goes on, buddy. But next week when we head off to Phoenix, it's going to be fun to watch. You guys do battle again. But before we let you get out here, as always, for your race victory, anybody want to send a shout out to in that number 15, man?
Yeah, for sure. Danny Cochran, as usual, for the beautiful paint schemes and for just being a great teammate. Unfortunately, he had a rough race tonight, but hopefully he can have a good rebound next week at Phoenix. I know he's really good there. You guys for broadcasting, you do a great job, really good job. So, yeah, thanks to you guys and all of our wonderful sponsors that help the league grow and be what it is.
Well, Vincent, it's been a fantastic night up here at the booth, a wild race out there on the track. Congrats on the win, buddy. We'll catch you next week in Phoenix to see if you can go back to back.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, everybody. That was Vincent Soar, your race winner here tonight at the Rockingham Speedway. Let me get that right before I mess it up again. But Rockingham here tonight, going to Vincent Soar, the race winners. We'll pull on up our race results here, brought to you by Track Racer. Vincent Soar is your race winner here tonight. Second, going to go to Thomas Walter in the 53 machine. Third is going to go to our stage 1 winner, Brandon Colley. Fourth's going to be a great bounce back for Ethan Smith after leading early in this race. Fifth's going to go to Aaron Kralick. Sixth's going to go to Dakota Moniz. Seventh's going to be James Loveland. Eighth's going to go to John Forbes. Ninth's going to go to Jarrett Talmage. 10th's going to be Tanner Johnson there rounding the top 10. 11th's going to go to Martin Morales Jr. 12th's going to be Joshua Freed. 13th, Max Boner. 14th's going to go to Carl Pooler. 15th, Christopher Norris. 16th's going to go to Sean Huffsteller. 17th is Jesse Thornock. 18th is Kirk Schweizer in the 18th position. 19th is going to go to Cody Dorsey. 20th is going to be Joshua Pike. 21st is going to go to Gregory Shaw. 22nd is going to go to Tyler Dingler. 23rd, Jeffrey Stone. 24th, our last week's winner, Danny Cochran with a tough night. 25th is going to go to Christopher Curick. 26th is going to go to Kyle Guildhouse. 27th for Tom Bourne. 28th there for Trevor Earhart after sitting on the pole, making the decision to pit late. 29th for John McAdams. 30th is going to go to Cody Reed. 31st, Jacob Morris. 32nd is going to go to Anthony Ludi. 33rd, Robert Schmock. 34th, James Hubble. 35th, Thomas Green. And rounding out your field in the 36th position, as we had a load of trucks out tonight, is Ryan Ferrero in that 36th position. Oh, man, what a night it's been up here in the booth. Oh, man. Just a crazy, crazy night. And, before we get out of here and send it up to our producer, I definitely got to send a shout out to all the fans out here tuning in here tonight and putting on such a wonderful chat there for us and giving us those likes and subscriptions that we always like to see. And we appreciate those very much. I also want to say bye to everybody for Sam, as he had to get on out here a little bit earlier here tonight. So he had to head on to another broadcast and get started there. So Sam wanted to make sure to send you all a shout out for tuning in. But what a night it's been here at Rockingham. Vincent Soar able to bring home the race victory, and we cannot wait to get to Phoenix next week. But before we get out of here, we'll send it up to Robert Moyer Jr., our producer, to be able to close out tonight's race here at the NAISCC Truck League.
All right. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, everybody out there, for tuning in here tonight. It was a great viewership again. If you're going back and watching this replay, like Zach said, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe button. If this is your first time coming here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, hopefully you enjoyed tonight's content here at the Rockingham with NAISCC truck series that they got going on here every Monday night at 8:50 at Freaky Fast. So congratulations to Vincent. What a battle. Yeah, had a lot of yellows like we seen here tonight, but this is Rockingham and it's a very, 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 very tough track to race. Packing in these many cars or trucks, it's something to see here. So don't get discouraged, drivers out there. Hop on to the next one. There's always next week. Do some practicing and get ready to go live next week, and we'll get to see you out there. But our next televised broadcast will be this Wednesday night with Underdog Racing League, and then will be Thursday night. We also got the Stars and Stripes, and then we're off on Saturday and Sunday. Sim Racing Unleashed starts up their new season this coming Sunday. So we got action-packed racing getting ready to start here at Freaky Fast every day of the week here until the end of the holidays of this year. But we're going to sign off here. Me, Zach, got to sign off here from Rockingham. So hopefully everybody enjoys tonight's content again, like I said. And we will catch you Wednesday night. Everybody have a great Tuesday. Don't work too hard. Be safe out there. And we want to say from here, Rockingham again, virtual side of things. God bless everybody. We love yous all. Peace out.